Good morning. Bam, we're live. Tank, been a minute. I have real life work and shit. I come on here only to feed crumbs to the Goyim. Fair enough. Thank you. Thank you for the feeding the crumbs. Even the Melania movie, directed by Pedo. What a nice personal choice by them to choose Ratner. No idea what you're talking about. You saw the Melania movie? How was it? Was it good? Oh, you're all fired up about the Epstein stuff? The what's the big accusation is 35 years ago. There's the accusation that he pushed a 14-year-old girl's head down and she bit his penis. That story? Is that the one you're Man, everyone's getting their time in the sun there. The George Clooney one's pretty cool. At least George Clooney had sex with I don't know why he would be so upset. He had sex with Ghislaine. At least she was of age. Ghislaine. Good morning. Good morning. While Tank entertains himself with his sexual fetish of getting horny about reading other people's sexual escapades, boy, the Mike Benz did a whole video talking about censorship. It was absolutely fantastic. What a great warning he gave. I'll wait till Taylor comes on and we'll break that one down. Make sure I send him a link. I think he's coming on today at the half-hour mark, 7:30 this. He's doing Sentinel stuff. Yesterday I did 1 minute on the treadmill, 10 push-ups, 15 rounds. That's with an R, not a P. Mike Benz was on Joe Rogan. I think Joe said 4 sentences. Yeah, Mike's got some chops on him. Hey, he's great at 1.5. Mike Benz is amazing at 1.5. What mastery he has when I watch him present, what mastery he has over the computer and bringing up documents and talking simultaneously. Man. Some crazy skill. Yeah, so 15 rounds of that, and I'm not too sore. I think I didn't run very far. I wish I would have run further. I think it ended up being on the air runner, it was 2.15 miles. 2.15 miles in 15 1-minute intervals. And the push-ups were just, I don't know, they were chill. 10 push-ups is easy. Good morning. Good morning, Vindicate. Thank you for the shirt. 20 Taylor says 25 minutes, right? Anytime, buddy. Where do you guys want to start? Boy, there's so much. See if I can open a new tab here. Power was out yesterday here. A car hit a telephone pole right by my house. I fired up the generator, but then turned it off around, I don't know, midnight when I went to bed. And then I got a notice that the power went back on at 4:52 a.m. Yeah, I guess the car hit a pole just up from me. Oh, I got an email from Josh Bridges. Oh no, it's a spam email. Damn. Buy one t-shirt, get one free. First thing, first thing I want to talk about is Chicago. Chicago. You guys ready? Chicago. What is Chicago known for? Anyone? When you think of Chicago, what do you think? What do you think when you think of Chicago? Anyone? Good morning, Jody. Carnivoristas. I bought Every Second Counts, yesterday. Do you get any residuals? No. Nope. I should. I mean, I could go after them. Legally, of course, I could. How did you buy it? Where did you buy it? I think it's free on YouTube. That piece of shit Jonathan Haynes made it free on YouTube, I think. Someone over there made it free on YouTube. When you think of Chicago, you think of, gun violence, Andrew Hiller, deep dish, murder, gangsters, Da Bears, My Home. Good morning. Good morning. What do you think of when you think of Chicago? Tyson? Tyson? I think of, gun violence. I think of murder. I think of you know what I think specific it's really even more specific than that. When I think of Chicago, I think of, weekend gun violence. I think, "Oh, I wonder how many people were shot in Chicago." Specifically black people. I wonder how many black people were shot in Chicago this weekend. This weekend. That's how I think. How many black people were shot in Chicago this weekend? That's what I think. Jesse Smollett. The Green River. I don't know about the Green River. Is that their polluted river? Green River, Chicago. Green River, Chicago. Chicago River has dyed a brilliant bright green for the St. Patrick's Day event with the 2026 event scheduled for Saturday, March 14th. Oh, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Is that true? The annual green dye in the Chicago River always takes the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day. Boy, you guys want to see what that looks like? Why do they do that? Like, isn't that obvious that like somehow that's a bad idea to do that? That it just seems like a bad idea. Every year they turn it green. I grew up West Side Burbs. Biggest fear was our bike being stolen. Chat GPT, thank you, Stephanie. Chat GPT says 17 shootings total, 6 killed, non-race specific. Is that this past weekend? That's just this past weekend. You heard about ICE getting in altercations with thousands of violent protesters in Minnesota and only 2 deaths. This is real. This is Chicago. How did we see no glass get shot out of those windows? Isn't that weird? Hey, Tank, just because you jerk off to the Ken Starr report and uh, stories of blowjobs on Epstein Island doesn't mean all of us do that. Don't project. And please don't laugh at his jokes, David. Please. Please. What's crazy is look at the headlights on this car. What is that? Is that a BMW or a Tesla? Look at the headlights. They're doing some, like weird cop shit. How many people do you think have been shot? How many people do you think have been shot? I think I believe the pizza story. I think I believe the pizza story. And I think I believe the furniture story. How many people do you think have been shot already this year in Chicago? 150 black people shot in the first month of 2026 in Chicago. 2 people shot by ICE, the whole world protesting abolish ICE. Trump takes a dump, every Democrat doing a press conference about it. Do we see what the problem is? We are in a state of emergency and it has nothing to do with Trump or ICE, says Jamal Green. It is wild. It is absolutely wild. 150. I wonder what the breakdown is there of 150 Chicago deaths 2026. Um 2026 homicide data rate according to Chicago Tribune data. Oh, only 24 people have been killed since January 26th. So that's good. 125 of them survived. 95 to 96% of the victims, homicide victims, were black. Last year at this time, there were 126. So in the first 26 days since January 26th, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Up until January 26th, last year it was 126. This year it's 123 and 150 if you count the past 2 weekends. So it's down a little bit. It's down 3 shootings. Man, Chicago. Is that the shooting capital? I wonder what other city should we do? 2026 shootings NYC. Let's see what they're at. Um, how many shootings NYC? Of course, there's not Google. Google gives you a generic response for Chicago, New York. They don't. Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch today announced that NYPD delivered the safest January for gun violence, the fewest shooting incidents and shooting victims in recorded city history. 40 shootings, 47 shooting victims. That means that some shootings, multiple people got shot. Um, All-time low was set in 2025 of 50, and now they're down to 40 for the month of January. I'm guessing of all the stats they could jigger, that would be the hardest one. Right? Like they can jigger rapes and robberies and car break-ins. Mr. Lange, good morning. Bad shit happens and people protest. Let's immediately look at gangs in Chicago and call out no protests there. Sevon defense mechanism. Bad shit happens. People protest. Immediately look at gangs in Chicago. You think people protest when bad shit happens? I have no idea what you're saying, Pat. Sorry. I want to. People don't protest when bad shit happens. The protests are the bad shit. Let's immediately look at gangs in Chicago. I don't remember saying anything about gangs. I thought I was talking about shootings. People protest when ICE breaks the law. It's kind of basic at this point, you dope. Oh, right, right, right. And where did ICE break the law? Help me out since I'm a dope. Help me out. Help me out. No one will say a thing. It's just normal. That's why I think Homan and the gang should have just kept moving forward. They didn't need to change anything. Eventually the society just becomes numb to shit. Eventually society just becomes numb to shit. They're numb to Chicago. No one cares. Look at they're like New York City's excited. Like they're bragging because they only had 40 shootings. They're bragging. Oh, only 40. I guess when you have people who hate law and order, that's going to happen. Good morning, Seema. Sevi, 1V. When you are done with this topic, can you go back to your trees? My dad didn't produce fruit last year because the rain blew all the flowers off. Is there a way to prevent this? I have no idea. That happens to me too. I wasn't even sure. I speculated it was because wind blew the flowers off and they didn't get pollinated by the bees. Um, but but I don't know. My apricots, it's funny that they alternate years. One year they have fruit, the next year they don't. One year they have fruit. It's a trip. I don't know the mechanism for that. I know some trees like avocados require every year for the temperature to drop below a certain point in order for whatever biological transformation they go through for them to flower and give fruit. I think you have to have like 2 days of below 30 degrees, and it's different for each variety of avocado. Um, so some years I get shitloads of avocados, and then every once in a while there'll just be a tree with just one avocado. I don't know. I don't know. You know what's crazy is I should probably look that up because I don't think big farms, people who rely on produce have to go through that shit. They've cracked the code. They know. They know. They might need cross pollination. I have so many. Yeah, there's definitely some trees do. My pistachio trees do. I don't know about the other trees, but I have 10 apricot trees and 10 avocado trees, and it's all sorts of plum trees and nectarine and peach and no doses, you fucking moron. That's not what you do. You want people not to break the law. You fucking write like an idiot. Start with the people enforcing it, right? Hey, if that's gonna be your train of thought, I'll go along with it. But then at the same, how about start with the people who are enforcing it to actually enforce the law? Why don't you ever go to that side? Why don't you ever go to that side? Why are you so fucking dim-witted? Why are you so biased? Why don't we start with just enforcing the law? How would your anti-carb friends feel about you growing carbs in your backyard? They hate me. I keep it a secret. I'm terrified of them finding out. I'm terrified. Terrified. Yeah, he loves. I wonder if those people's dads beat them, and so now they're projecting it onto the police. I wonder if that's what it is. Okay, I'm ready to go dark. You guys ready to go dark? Here we go. This story starts way, way back, but we're going to pick it up in 2022. University of California system reaches $243 million settlement after former UCLA gynecologist is accused of sexual misconduct. Here's the guy, right? Got arrested. All sorts of hot chicks and Pat Lang. I'm guessing, I don't know for sure. I'm guessing those are the chicks that got diddled. Women who accused Heaps said he made inappropriate sexual suggestions and comments. No big deal, whatever. He's a dude. Remove their gowns or clothing in a sensual manner. All right, fucking weirdo. Without consent. All right, rapist. Or inappropriately touch them. Scumbag. Hold on. Hold on. In August 2020, Heaps was charged with 8 additional counts of sexual battery by fraud, 2 additional counts of sexual exploitation of a patient, as well as 7 counts of sexual penetration of a person unconscious of the nature of the act by fraudulent representation. I don't even know what the fuck that means. All I heard there is he's fucking chicks who are fucking under some form of anesthesiology. Uh, Man, that's sounds like life in prison to me. You do that to my mom or my sister or my cousins or someone's daughter. The $73 million settlement between UCLA and alleged victims required the university to create a fund to pay as many as 6,600 victims participating in a class action lawsuit filed by 7 women. The settlement also required UCLA to pay all attorneys' fees or litigation expenses separately. God, that must have been expensive. So here it is. And this is in 2022. Oh, I didn't show you the guy's picture. Let me show you the guy's picture. There's the girls. And there's the boy. So this guy was raping unconscious women. That's how I read that. Real scumbag. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. No way to spin your way out of that one. I don't think a man should be a gynecologist at UCLA. I don't. I don't think so. I don't think so. Sexual discrimination, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I discriminate sexually. I don't think the biology should mix like that. Lawyers for this is February 3rd. This is 2 days ago. Lawyers for patients of UCLA doctor says client shaken by court overturning his sex abuse conviction. 2 years after former University of California, Los Angeles gynecologist was convicted of sex abuse and sentenced to 11 years in prison. 11 years for that? It should be life. An attorney working to prepare an appeal. Shouldn't it be like 11 years per sexual abuse? An attorney working to prepare an appeal of the case stumbled across an astounding fine for the defense counsel. What do you think they found? This is so apropos for what's going on in this country right now. What do you think the defense found that caused the case to be thrown out? A man should never be a gyno. Should a woman be a urologist? Yeah, it's fine. Like, listen, women can use the women can use the men's bathrooms. They can do it's not. This is a game of logic, not a game of fairness. Of course you don't like this story. Of course you don't like this story. Of course you don't like this story. Dude, with all the shit going on right now, this is the story you're going with? Oh, hang tight, Patty. Hang tight, buddy. This story is quite apropos to the current times. A note by the jury's foreperson, a designated spokesperson for the jury, I like how they define that, had been sent to the judge expressing concerns that one of the jurors did not have sufficient English to carry out his duties and deliberate. The juror was an alternate who was brought in after another juror had a medical issue and 2 days before the verdict. The judge never shared that information with the prosecution and defense. One of the jurors didn't speak English? One of the jurors didn't fucking speak English? The note was never turned over to us ever, said Leonard Levine, the defense attorney of Dr. James Heaps. We were shocked. Of course, it violates the Sixth Amendment. In my 30 years of trial and appeals work, excluding the defense from a jury question is unheard of, said Dimitri Gorn, a former prosecutor and criminal defense specialist. Heap's trial spanned more than 2 months in 2022, including testimony from several of his former patients. He was accused of sexually assaulting hundreds of patients during his 35 career. He pleaded not guilty to 21 felony counts in the sexual assaults of seven women between 2009 and 2018. That's your public institutions. That's where you send your kids to school, people. An hour after a juror was replaced, 1 hour after the juror was replaced with an alternate, during deliberations, the foreperson sent a note to the judge that read, "We have observed that the language barrier with juror number 15 is preventing us from properly deliberating. Juror 15 was not able to understand calls to vote guilty or not guilty and expressed to us that his limited English interfered with his understanding of the testimony." Later on, when the judicial assistant spoke to the juror in Spanish, the jurors in Spanish. They think that I don't understand English, but I do. He insisted he could continue deliberating. He was convicted October 2022 of 3 counts of sexual battery by fraud, 2 counts of sexual penetration. God, this guy is disgusting. And it's over. He's going to get a retrial. That's it. He's out. He's out. I don't think you can do translator, Jeffrey. I don't think you can do translator. I don't think language works like that. I don't think you can do translator. Our fidelity, the fidelity of communications between human beings is so low, and now you have someone else who's not a juror telling that guy what they're saying. I would want like 4 translators to check everything that the other translator said. How the fuck does someone who doesn't speak English make it on a jury? What are the rules for? Do you have to be a citizen to be in the jury? Can you be on a jury as a non-citizen? No, you cannot serve on a jury in the United States if you're not a U.S. citizen. How did this person become a U.S. citizen if they can't speak English? Non-citizens, including lawful permanent residents, green card holders, are disqualified from jury service. But it's worse. It's worse. It gets even worse than that. Yes, you have to be a citizen. It gets even worse than that. I want to read you guys something. You ready? The old house at the edge of town had always been a mystery. Maya, 13, stood on the cracked pavement looking up at the broken windows. She didn't believe in ghosts, but the way the wind whistled through the wooden slats made her heart race. She took a deep breath, clutching her flashlight, and took the first step onto the rotting porch. Do you know what that is? Does anyone want to guess what that is? That's very, very, very vague. I know. Anyone want to guess what that is? I'll give you a hint. It's an example of something. The old house at the edge of town had always been a mystery. Maya, 13, stood at the cracked pavement, looking up at the broken windows. Anyone want to guess what that is? Mark Twain. That is the reading. That's an example of the reading requirements for a senior in high school. You have to be able to read that and understand what was said in order to be considered proficient at reading. Yesterday, I saw that example, and I asked my recently turned 11-year-old son to read it. I said, stand up in front of the living room in front of your family and read this with a dramatic, passionate presentation. And he read it. This is a homeschooled kid. This is a kid who does 15 minutes to 30 minutes of English every single day since he's been 3. That's his homeschooling. And he read it like a fucking champ. It's nothing. I didn't even know if he was going to be able to do it. My wife's in charge of that shit. I don't know if my kids are dumb or smart. I'm like, hey, Avi, come here. Read this. I didn't even tell him what it was. Just read it. That's the example. Okay. We got a jury guy who doesn't speak English. Now here we go. This is where Pat sends his kids to school. This is the school district. This is the school district by my house. 82% of the high school students there can't read that. 82 fucking percent. Pat's worried about what I'm presenting. This is at a school board meeting in that same school district where seniors can't read what my fucking 11-year-old who only does 15 minutes of English a day does. He can read it. This is why we have jurors who don't speak English. This is right down the street from my house in Santa Cruz County. This is a school board meeting.
I'm personally offended by what was presented on so many different levels.
You can tell already she's a libtard, right? She opened up with their fucking slogan. I am so personally offended. I've never said those words in my life that came from my own thoughts. I don't think I've ever used the word I'm offended. Imagine giving your power away like that.
One thing I would like to see updated is the word homeless to unhoused.
This is a school board person. 82% of the kids in her high school can't read what my 11-year-old can read, who only does English 15 minutes a day. He just does Kumon. It's 4 little sheets of paper. They're little tiny sheets of paper. He sets a timer. It's like fucking that CrossFit thing, you know, where you set a timer and then you go and you do your 4 pages. And then when it's done, if you pass, you move on to the next 4 pages the next day. If you don't, you do them again. Different 4 pages.
Thing I would like to see updated is the word homeless to unhoused. I'm not done.
Can I just don't want
I'm not done. That's another libtard slogan. That's I'm a strong black woman. I am not done. Remember that was the crowning achievement of Kamala Harris saying that to Trump or to Pence or whatever. I'm not done. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, she's so strong. She's so strong."
Mr. Berman for this to be on him. That's the way.
And that bitch obviously doesn't know the rules. That white bitch, you're not allowed to interrupt black women. We learned that in 2020. Remember that whole campaign? Never interrupt a black person because everything they say is right.
They are state of California. That's the language that they use, and that's their.
That doesn't mean that's the language we have to use. I'm
those
just
are their
making
titles.
a statement, and I'd like to
I just
have
want
my
to make
time
sure
to finish.
that
I'm personally offended.
We got a juror. We got a guy in a public institution, a school, raping women, posing as a gynecologist. He raped them for fucking how long? 35 years. No one speaks up. He goes to court. The case is thrown out because one of the jurors doesn't speak English. And at the local fucking Mexican school down here, it's in Pajaro Valley, you got a fucking black woman saying she's personally offended by calling them unhomed or homed or homeless, whatever the fuck. The verbiage was bothering her but her kids can't read either of those words. Good Lord. What a mess. What a shit show. In elementary school, it's 27% of the kids are above the reading level in Pajaro County. In middle school, it's 32%. And then in high school, it drops to 13%. 13% of the kids can't read. The old house at the edge of town had always been a mystery. Maya 13 stood on the cracked pavement, looking up at the broken windows. She didn't believe in ghosts, but the way the wind whistled through the wooden slats made her heart race. She took a deep breath, clutching her flashlight, and took the first step onto the rotting porch. They can't read that. Can't read it. What happens when you have a society that can't read, can't do math? Their math scores are abysmal too. Fucking abysmal.
I'm somewhere in the middle. I have a really good reading IQ, if that's even a thing. I'm really good. I have a big vocabulary. I can read a lot. I do read a lot, and I can read very quickly. I can do simple math, but I was a fucking dropout, and I did not pay attention to math.
I can ejaculate watching porn thumbnails. That's my specialty. I don't even need to click the video.
That's a different language.
Caller, hi.
So you're bilingual?
What's up, Sarah?
Just fucking efficient.
I think you said it right as I was calling, but a population that cannot read is easily controllable.
Easily. Hey,
I don't know, dude. A population that can read is fucking easily controllable too.
Yeah, there's definitely it reading, math, all of the subjects, but it's not just memory, like Sousa was talking about yesterday on the Glassman show, just memorizing, but it's application of all of these different things that we're supposedly supposed to learn in school. Like I went to private school and I learned all this junk and took it over a little bit to college, and then I dropped out of college and I'm a CrossFit coach now and I'm a business owner. There's a lot of stuff that is applicable, but then it doesn't transfer over unless you do that specific pathway, like the doctor, the engineer, or the pilot. All of these high level careers that our society has put on a pedestal because you have to have this way of life. And then I'm looking at my wife and her brother-in-law, and we all in the gym together, and they went to homeschool, and they did all pretty much the same thing I did, and we're all still only using what we needed to learn. So but back to the point of when you can't articulate things, how are you going to understand these high level situations like this rape case? Where my theory with this rape case, especially with like the Epstein files, is it seems that these cases take so long because they don't really want to expose what's really going on every single day with these politicians and elites and people who have this like addiction of harming people.
I want to, Clay, hold on real quick. I want to go back to something really quick. I don't want to lose this point. Why are you a CrossFit coach?
Because I believe in helping people and changing their lives with fitness and nutrition and creating relationships.
Right. And so why do you think people should be school teachers?
They probably think the same thing. They want to help these kids learn what needs quote unquote needs to be learned, but these teachers are just taught what to teach.
Okay, so let's say your bars in your gym were being made in China and we were at war with China. Would you stop using those bars, or would you put over the like, how do you prioritize this? Because what's happening is these teachers have a duty, and for some reason they're prioritizing things that are adjacent to what they're teaching and letting it conflate their duties. And so like, if you had something, do you get what I'm saying? The parallel I'm trying to draw here, or the analogy? These teachers need to shut the fuck up.
But they don't know to.
They don't know to, right? I don't think they're not in the business. They think that they're trying to help people, but they're not. Their mission should be focused on teaching them how to read, just like yours should be teaching people on how to be healthy and move well, eat well, and lift weights well, and exercise well. And if the bars are made in China or if they're fucking made in Mexico, it shouldn't matter to you. I mean, maybe as the business owner hat. But these schools that are taking kids out and protesting instead of teaching them how to read, like, whoa. What the fuck?
Yeah, I almost ran over one the other day. They started running across the street from the high school the high school to the Lowe's, and in the middle of like a 6-lane, pretty busy intersection. And then the next day another high school does it. The next day another high school does it. It's like someone's behind planning all of these, like, oh, we're gonna let the students walk out, and then the ones that don't want to be a part of it just get a free day off of school.
Pat Lang, so now you think teachers aren't trying? No, Pat, they are trying. You're totally missing the point, Pat. They are 100% trying. They just don't have fucking any focus, or they don't know what their fucking real agenda is. They're not staying true to their profession.
I disagree with the notion that a society that can't read is a society that's easily controllable, because I think, to some degree, Americans have kind of a base level of reading ability, and we digest a lot of content. We digest a lot of literary content. It's not in the form of typical novels and articles and journals like maybe at one time was, but a reel has a lot of text, and a carousel post on Instagram has a lot of text, and people can read these. I think the pandemic in America is we have a society that does not question. And I think that is the ultimate problem with school, public school and private, is children aren't taught to question, ask why. Children are just taught to accept what they're being told. And so we have this massive generation, or several generations of people that are, if some particular cohort of people tells you it's so, you believe it to be so. And you don't have people that are inherently taught to question things. And it doesn't even have to be malicious, but it's just a curiosity of, well, why is that true? Why are you accepting that as true? How does this become true? We aren't taught any of that in school. And so I think the issue with teachers isn't, there's probably far less teachers that are pushing their liberal agenda on students in the public K through 12 school system, far less than we probably believe or make it out to be.
Bullshit.
Hey,
Oh,
dude,
bullshit.
With
Bullshit.
things like libs of TikTok, etc.
Hey,
there's no way-
87% of public school teachers are liberals.
That's fine.
They're in a fucking pressure chamber where outside thought is not allowed. You have to agree with that, right? You could never express anything that descends from the liberal talking points.
I think a lot of teachers just teach exactly what the state and federal mandated curriculum is.
2 + 2 can be 5, and it's
That's not what they're
racist
teaching in school.
Yes, it is.
They're teaching 2 + 2 = 5.
It can be, because 2 + 2 is 4 is racist.
No, stop. I get what
That's
you're
true.
saying.
That's true.
Hey, I get what you're
San
saying.
Diego, San Diego Unified School District should be the most elite school district in the country. You're not allowed to ask teachers, kids to turn in their homework. You're not allowed to grade kids based on their homework, because it's unfair, because some kids can't do homework, specifically black and brown kids.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Again, but ultimately,
That's the entire unified school district, bro.
We've stopped teaching people to question, and all we are doing is creating this class of people that accepts what another class of people tells them to do at face value without doing any personal investigation. So I think that is what makes people easily controllable. It's the distancing from personal accountability to what knowledge is, and it's just entrusting that with people who you think are or are deemed have authority over you. And I think that's fucking retarded. I was never taught to question anything in school. I had one professor in the 20 years of school, a college professor at a community college, mind you, and it was like advanced English literature. And he was the only professor I ever had that like taught to question. That's not true. I had another professor in Greek mythology. It was a Greek mythology class. That was a really hard. It was the 2 hardest class I've ever taken. It was an advanced literature class and a Greek mythology class, because the professors forced me to think for myself. I was like, wait, there's nothing to just memorize and regurgitate. How the fuck am I going to pass this class?
Look at this bullshit. He said, listen, I agree with you, caller. Listen to this bullshit. This is why Taylor's wrong. Listen to this. Listen to this. I said it was 87% of public school teachers are liberal, right? It's probably 95%. But listen to Google's response. Approximately 29% to over 30% of public school teachers in the U.S. identify as liberal or very liberal, while a significant portion identifies as liberal. Wait. Significant means over 50%. You just said it was 29 to 30%. A large plurality, around 43%, often describes themselves as moderate. as moderate, that means that they're liberal. With 27% identifying as conservative. So 27% identify as conservative, but only 29% can say they're liberal. However, the other studies indicate that 58% of public K through 12 teachers align more with the Democratic Party. I mean, just a fucking colossal crock of shit.
Here's what I think. I think those 29 to over 30% of people are probably the people pressing their agendas onto students. The other 40 moderates and 30 conservatives, or 40 moderates and 20 conservatives, are probably the ones that keep their mouths shut and just teach the state mandated curriculum or the federal mandated curriculum. So, but I still agree. Hey, 30% of people pushing their agenda unquestioned by anyone else and unchallenged by anyone else is a massive problem. And if 30% of people are pressing their agenda on a cohort and it's unchallenged and no one's challenging it or questioning it or opposing it, then it's going to become fact. Do you know what I mean? It's going to become the truth. If
National the public broadcasting system, 100% of its staff were liberal. 100%.
I don't even like the terms liberal and conservative anymore. They just don't even apply. They don't apply in any way to our current political climate. They're so like left and right. It just doesn't even apply anymore. It doesn't apply anymore. What is the spectrum? What is the spectrum of government we're talking about? There's really only two systems of societal structure when it comes to government, and that is coercion and voluntarism. And we don't have anything like, I don't know. It's just
83% of Yale staff are registered Democrats. Maybe that's
so.
what I need.
I think it's twofold.
Go ahead. Sorry.
who the fuck makes this? Is so Pat 12 Daily Dose. 1 second, caller. Would you say making children recite the 10 commandments every day is pushing an agenda? Personally, I think it's funny, but curious as your thoughts. Well, what public schools are forcing kids to recite the 10 commandments? That's the key. What public schools? Because if you're talking about a private Catholic school or a private Christian school, well, hey, the parent has dominion over their child to a degree, and they get to decide where that child goes to school and how that child is taught. Every parent has those decisions to make for themselves. So if you're entrusting your child with a government funded and created or a government school,
hey,
that would be pushing an agenda.
He's talking about because Louisiana and Arkansas mandate classrooms to display the 10 commandments.
And Texas.
But no one's forcing them to recite it.
Yeah, it's in Texas as well.
Reciting the allegiance, the fuck, I don't even know what it's called. The American allegiance, the fucking
Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance. Holy shit, I probably don't even remember it. Does that make me Muslim? Does that make me a jihadi?
Clay, don't let Taylor get away with this shit saying that people who don't know how to read is easy to manipulate.
Well, I think he's right in this in the way that.
Great.
Well, hold on. I think he's right in the way that we aren't taught to question anymore, because what happens? The kid gets dropped off at school from 8 to 3 every single day, and you don't have. When you're not allowed to question things, you're also not allowed to research things. So difference between what I see in private and homeschool areas versus the public school is that most are having to do a dissertation/thesis type of their own by senior year. And what happens over from 9th to 12th grade, you research one topic, you get it finalized with all the teachers, all of your research compiles together, and then you present it to whoever it might be at homeschool or private school. And when they don't give you an opportunity to look stuff up for yourself besides what's in the textbook, then that's when they're like, oh, this must be truth. Then I can't question what this is. And then you have these teachers who are left-leaning or have their own ideologies, and these teachers are seeing these kids more than these parents are seeing these kids. And then there's no question that when these kids have these crazy ideas about life or theology or ideology, or they've made a personality off of these politics and these furries and all of this different things, and then the parents are upset about it. The parents have not taught their kid to create a personality and a worldview for themselves because they've been taught by these teachers.
And let me tell you what happens in the schools.
Just like that.
And let me tell you what happens in the schools. So I went to University of California, Santa Barbara. At one point, I was a Black Studies major there. I was taking the intro class there. It was 2 days a week for 3 hours. It was like sociology 150 or something. And I was living in this house at the time, and I had let all these homeless people live in my backyard and set up tents and shit. And then I had a couple guys who were actually I let sleep inside, and I had this couch in my kitchen. And these two guys always took claim to the couch. And it was this guy called Skinhead Dave, and it was another guy called Carms. Carms was a dark-haired black dude, really dark-skinned black dude with crazy long dreads. And Skinhead Dave had hate on his knuckles and a swastika on his head. And they slept on the couch together with their heads on opposite ends of the couch every night. They had state claim to the couch. And I was in my fucking sociology class, and they were talking about racism and shit. And I raised my hand. And I'm like, hey, this is all a luxury to talk about racism and debate this stuff. And you know, and I was like one of the only white kids in the class, and every single black kid in the school was in the class. And there were probably only like 100 black kids at the school at the time, in the university of 20,000 students. And people started yelling at me. And I'm like, hey, man, I have proof. When you don't have shelter and food, you don't have time to be racist. Racism is a fucking luxury. But I got fucking yelled out of the class, and I had to fucking leave the class. I couldn't finish the class. I had to switch fucking majors because I proposed that, hey, this is a fucking luxury because these two guys got along perfectly well because they didn't have shelter, food, or water. And I provided it. So they got along perfectly well, sleeping on the same couch together. So my point being is that you're not allowed to speak up in the public university. You'll get yelled at. It's not a place. This school is not a safe place to talk about things. And I knew how to read. I'm shocked you didn't get raped. No, they fucking loved me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. One nation under God and liberty for all.
I used to say that shit every morning.
What's the rest? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. One nation under God, indivisible,
with
liberty and justice for all. Okay, fuck you, Ortega. You get deported, motherfucker. You fucking say it now in English. En inglés, papi. En inglés, pinche way.
And Clay, this brings us to our next story, which is the scariest one at all. We lost our free speech for 4 years in this country in the most horrible fucking way. We were losing autonomy over our own fucking bodies. And it's going to fucking happen again. And it's happening in Europe right fucking now. It's happening in Europe. They're claiming that social media is giving misinformation. So they're finding all the social media platforms. They're threatening to arrest Elon Musk. This is happening in Spain and France and the UK. And it's gonna happen here if we don't figure out a way to stop it when Trump's out of power. They're so concerned about misinformation. People are eating this shit up. And we're going to fucking end up in 2028. The social media companies are going to feel pressure, and they're going to shut down any candidates, and they're going to stop even the ones of us who can do our own research from doing our own research. And the media is going to be filled with that same shit that the BBC did, where they edited that thing to make Trump look like he incited an insurrection, or the same thing that fucking CBS, NBC, CNN did, where they made Trump seem like he liked Nazis. And we're going to be fucked. We're going to be fucked. Even people who Taylor says you don't need to read, you can go on social media. We're going to be fucked, man. It's coming. The censorship is surrounding us everywhere. It's everywhere now in every fucking country.
I want to address a couple things before we move on.
Okay. Thank you, Clay.
Yes, sir.
In the sense that I think that it's not just a lack of literary capacity or your ability to read that makes you controllable. Is the reason I believe that is because there are people who are smart.
The smartest people in this country have been completely brainwashed.
Right. And
they can all read good.
Exactly. So that I mean, that's my point there. Pat also says, okay, in quotations, the first commandment, you shall worship no other God but me. Is that an agenda? He asked. And I think if we're going to kind of look at every aspect of the reality that we live in, anytime someone teaches something to someone else, it could be considered pushing an agenda. Anytime anyone teaches someone else something based off the perspective or the opinion of the teacher that what they are teaching is best, that's an agenda, because there's probably another school of thought that thinks another thing is better. So at that point, you're pushing an agenda. You're pushing the government's agenda. You're pushing a Christian agenda. You're pushing a leftist or a progressive agenda. Everything is an agenda. Everything that we exist in reality is some agenda from someone somewhere. And I think what we have to agree upon as a society is, what agenda do we want to believe in and set as our kind of societal benchmark, or our agreed upon set of standards, or our agreed upon objective morality. And yeah, so absolutely, the 10 Commandments are an agenda, and I think they're the best agenda. I think they're a better agenda, and I think there is a lot of evidence in life that the 10 Commandments in Christianity are far superior to a subjective morality, progressive set of societal norms. Without a doubt. You can't even argue against that. And so that's what we have to get to as a society, is being okay with accepting everything may be an agenda. What is the best agenda for our society to be happy, free, for us to maintain our civil liberties, for people to have personal dignity and rights? How can we be successful in self-agency? How can we not be controlled by other people? Of course, everything's an agenda, Pat.
Let me
fucking retarded.
That's his go-to all the time, to say things that are ubiquitous, like it's some strong point. I agree with Pat, in the sense that I don't know if this is what he's saying. I don't think that the 10 Commandments should be a requirement in all of the schools. That being said, I 100% agree with what Taylor's saying. Hey, a Christian civilization is the most successful, happiest civilization. All the other countries are fucking shitholes that don't have that. That don't try to maintain the liberties that we have based on our Judaic Christian values, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. Of all the things to be worried about as the 10 Commandments, it's being forced to be put in the classrooms. It's really, really low on the totem pole. It's really fucking low on the fucking totem pole. And here's the thing. Freedom of religion, Taylor, when you tell kids who to worship, it's fucking obvious general. Hold on a second. No one's denying that. But here's the thing.
Sevon,
go ahead.
Our system of government is an agenda. The belief in personal liberty is an agenda. The Constitution is an agenda.
Yeah.
The First Amendment, the Second Amendment,
the
first 10 amendments are all of the amendments are fucking agendas, Pat Lange, you fucking retard.
Yeah, that's why
it's an agenda.
It's liberal talk, dude. He's not saying anything.
No, it doesn't strengthen you don't even have an argument. You're just saying it's an agenda. Well, of course it is. Of course it's an agenda.
And by the way, Pat, when you say religion doesn't have any place in school, the entire Democratic Party is a fucking religion, dude. That's what it is. That's what it's become.
There are elements of MAGA that are a religion.
No, Christian principles didn't protect the UK. That's Taylor's point. They've been eroded. They're not even there anymore.
Yeah, there are no Christian.
They're not even there. You don't even have to be Christian to. That's the whole thing. You're not talking to two Christians who are like, hey, we're Christians, so we want our agenda. We want fucking the Christian agenda because it's a fucking place where civilization can flourish.
I've never read the Bible front to back. I've never read most of the Bible. I grew up going to church. I grew up in preschool. But if you asked me to quote the Bible, I had to fucking spend 10 hours on Google before our Sunday show and ask my wife. So I'm not sitting here from some massively, of course I have personal bias. My personal bias is that I love the freedom and the autonomy that I have in America and the country that we have. And that's because of Christianity, without a doubt. And we should be taught that. Caller, are you there?
No, I got rid of him. Hey, listen to this.
Well, look at this comment from Pat. Look at this. Like, explain to us how we lost our First Amendment right, our Second Amendment right, and our Fourth Amendment right. I've never had an unreasonable search and seizure of any of my property. I have plenty of guns. I even have attachments to weapons that people in any other country
What
be like,
is
why
this
do you
guy
need to have that?
talking about?
And
Oh,
I can
I know.
say whatever I want, wherever I want. I can say whatever I want, wherever I want, as long as it's not infringing upon the rights of other citizens.
Pat, we just had a fucking protester show up to a protest and fucking pull a magazine and bring a gun, start fighting with the cops and pull out a magazine with the cops. And he got to live for fucking 5 minutes too long. What do you mean?
He did it at another protest. He got into a fight with cops with his
Yeah.
gun and was let go.
Yeah.
Also,
what are you talking about?
He screamed at the cops the entire time, and he wasn't searched or seized. You don't have an understanding. And I'll agree with this. I think our natural rights are 100% being infringed upon, but to say we lost our First, Second, and Fourth Amendment rights is absolutely ridiculous. It's the same rhetoric that the media will use to whip retards up into a frenzy. You're one of the retards, and your maniacal laughing at the end of your comment is just, I mean, it's showing that perfectly. I mean, you're a perfect representation of the maniacal progressive that is absolutely retarded and believes everything that anyone tells them. You take it by the mouthful, spoon-fed this fucking shit to think that you've lost 1, 2, and Fourth Amendment rights. They're being infringed upon, absolutely, but they are not lost, you fucking idiot. We're in a very critical inflection point of our country where we have the potential to lose them. And people like you are going to fucking usher that right into the fucking door, Pat.
Colton makes a great point. I didn't see Colton's comment. Go out and protest ICE. You'll be arrested for standing in public.
No, you won't.
What?
You'll be fucking arrested for interfering with an operation.
Oh boy.
You don't go to hey,
Oh
if a
my
fucking
God.
cop
What
gets
reality
called
does he live in?
to a meth den, if a fucking SWAT team gets called to a meth den and you think people should be allowed to cook and smoke meth, you don't show up to the meth den and interfere with the operation and call that peaceful, lawful protesting and expect to get away from it. No, you show up to the police precinct with a bunch of signs. You say, stop arresting meth heads. I want to smoke meth. I want to suck dick behind Fuddruckers. So you can show up to the ICE headquarters, you can show up to the Capitol, you can show up to your government buildings, police headquarters, and protest. But when you show up to an active operation and endanger the lives of federal agents, you have the incestual brain worm that I make fun of people in the fucking South for having, Pat. And you're the worst of it because you have that and you believe the entire progressive agenda that's been packed so far up your fucking poop hole with fucking Kamala Harris's 12-inch cock that you don't know what to do with yourself.
Pat, no protesters are being arrested. A matter of fact, they're infringing on other people's rights to use roadways, walk on sidewalks, go to school, shop at stores. And those people still aren't being arrested. Those people should be arrested. If you want to hold a sign out in front of the police station and protest, protest.
We
the
literally
second your rights are infringing on someone else's rights, it's a no-go. You're like some sort of anarchist.
And here's where he disassociates with reality. And this is a perfect example of
They're not protesters when they're being arrested. He's saying no protesters are being arrested. Holy shit. Listen, when you're a protester on the sidewalk, you're a protester. When you're a protester in the street, you're not a protester anymore. You're someone who's violating the law.
You've broken the law. So
yeah,
here's where, and
you are so fucking confused, dude.
And this is the accurate representation of your multiple story building metaphor, where there's a cohort of people on the first floor and they can see all the way up, and there's a people on the fourth floor and they think the only thing that exists is floors 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They don't know about floors 1 through 3. And this is where Pat really does disassociate with reality. He says, in quotes, "Don't talk about racism in school, you fucking libs. It's an agenda." And then he adds in quotations, "Telling a kid who to worship every day, not an agenda." I just said verbatim of OF, that's a word, of course, COURSE. Can you spell that, you fucking retard? Of course, that's an agenda. I said, of course, teaching the 10 Commandments is an agenda. Of course, teaching anything is an agenda. And I'm not hiding behind the argument, you fucking retard. I think teaching kids about Christianity is far better than teaching black kids that if somebody calls them a word, they're oppressed and they can't do anything. Of course, teaching Christianity is better than that. And of course, it's an agenda. Holy shit, you're so dumb.
Jorge, our liberty goes far if we don't bother others' liberty. Yep.
Exactly. That is so fucking critical. Wow, so critical. Imagine thinking that teaching kids that if someone calls them a word, that they have no power over their reaction and they have no self-agency.
It's
Is
worse than that. You're
superior.
teaching them to let the words offend you. Yes.
Right.
You're teaching
It's-
the kids to be victims.
Exactly.
This is how you
Imagine-
get hurt. This is how
Yeah.
you get hurt. Yeah.
Hey, imagine thinking that that is superior to any sort of Christian education or even indoctrination. Are you fucking dumb, Pat Lange? Jeez Louise, you are absolutely, and this is where we stop pulling his comments up because it's going to derail the rest of the show. We should talk
not-
about
He's not logical. I want to explain this logic that they have here. So during his this is the president of prime minister of Spain. By the way, we know Spain has fallen. It's done. People are fleeing Spain. Complete
Really?
shithole taken over by immigrants. Yes. Barcelona's done. Completely done. I had that guy on who moved from Venezuela to get away from Venezuela chaos to Spain, was in Spain a few years, and he said Spain fell, so he moved to Switzerland. He said
Wow.
Barcelona's crazy. You can't walk down the street with a cell phone. You can't even walk down the street with a cell phone in your pocket. You have to put it in your pants because they'll just reach into your pocket and take it.
steal it. Yeah.
It's done. Sanchez said that his government would also turn algorithmic manipulation and amplification of illegal content into a criminal offense. During his speech, Sanchez personally singled out ex-owner Elon Musk, accusing the billionaire of spreading disinformation. So what they're going to do is, under the guise of misinformation or disinformation, they're going to put in censorship. So basically, then only the government will allow you to say what can be said. So if they're concerned about people saying what are they concerned about that would be disinformation? They weren't concerned about the government spreading that refined carbohydrates is the most important thing to eat every morning when you wake up for 20 years. So in order to not say anything that goes against the government agenda under the guise of disinformation, they're going to end freedom of speech. Man, it is. If we don't get our shit together, when it happens here in the U.S., it's going to happen fast. Look how fast it happened during COVID. They passed a law in California where doctors aren't allowed to give their own opinion about COVID diagnoses. Spain is allowing 500,000 immigrants from Africa if they can prove they have lived in Spain for 5 months. Wow. Jeez. It's crazy watching Europe fall. I can't remember who I had on the show recently, but they just went to London. They said it's a complete shit show.
I want to talk about that post I sent you.
We can. Give me 1 second. But also, this is also the agenda of the World Economic Forum. Here he is, Pedro Sanchez, the Prime Minister of Spain.
Oh gosh, regulate social networks.
Amazing. Hey, and what are they using? Fear. What are they using? Fear. It's all fear. It's all fear. Hold on. I want to look at one thing. My own government attempted to execute me. That's a snippet of the testimony given yesterday on Capitol Hill by Miramar Martinez, Chicago teacher's assistant who survived being shot 5 times in her car by Border Patrol agents in October, only to be charged by federal prosecutors afterward with an attempt to assault a federal officer with a deadly weapon. That's your example, Pat? Where's the video, Pat? Where's the video? Let me guess, there is none. Let me guess, there is none. Where's the video? You got one, Pat? No video, huh? You think she was mouthing off? You think she was resisting arrest? Where's the video? Was she going for her glove box? Where's the video, Pat? I'm looking at the video. It's just videos of her testimony. I don't see any video of it. Nothing. The one example you give, there's no video. I've never blocked you, I don't think. Have I? Have I blocked Pat? All right. What do you want to bring up?
That the abortion post I sent you. Let's talk about some agendas.
Okay. Is it in the thread between me and you?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me find it and let me give some entertainment. This is Josh Cedar, who's doing the Lord's work on social media. I'll play this while I find the clip. Hey, here we go.
This is Pat's house. His outfits are insane.
Been on the show twice.
Hi, how are you? Good, I'm Finn. I'm one of the volunteer coordinators at Murphy. Do you have a little one that goes there?
Yes, my granddaughter goes there. She
Oh.
lives with me.
Oh, okay, great. So I'm the director of the School Teachers Helping Adolescents Reach Towards Thinking Smarter, or the SHARTs. And our job is just to kind of prevent any messy or explosive situations from occurring with children that may be from different backgrounds. So unfortunately, we do have a number of children that come from mega households at the school.
Really?
Yeah, a lot more than we expected. And their presence is scaring some of the other children for obvious reasons. And it's starting to affect us financially. A number of parents have pulled their children out, and some of the donors, yes, have backed out. But we think we've come up with a final solution. So could I tell you a little bit about it and then maybe get your signature?
Yes. That's
Okay, so what we're hoping is that we can team up with some of the local politicians and legislators and do a mandatory sterilization of registered Republicans in the area, just to make sure that in the future there's no more children coming from mega households.
Okay.
So is that maybe something you'd be willing to support with your signature?
Yes.
Will you support sterilizing people who are MAGA?
Yeah.
She says
Okay,
yes.
great. If you could just sign here where it says SHARTs, and then where it says regarding or RE, if you could just put TARD for Teachers Against Republican Danger.
Okay.
Next
Great.
to RE.
I love your
Yes,
signs
the
in the
right
front, by the
part.
way.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Here you go.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much. And we'll keep you updated on what happens with
Okay,
that.
okay.
So,
Thank
all right. You're welcome. Have a great day, ma'am.
you.
And remember, only you can prevent fascism.
Oh, boy.
And that's what people believe.
Oh, boy. Okay, this is we have highly sensitive content coming up. If you're squirmish at all,
No, fuck that.
make sure you stay. This is especially for you. This is
Zoom-
baby Samuel born.
Command plus. Zoom in. Zoom in.
This is baby Samuel born alive after an abortion at 16 weeks. He sucked his thumb in the butterfly room at QLD hospital. He lived for 30 minutes. He was perfectly healthy prior to the abortion. Babies who survive their abortion have no legislative rights to equal treatment and care under QLD law. He was left to die. No one picked him up, wrapped him, or gave him any medical care to alleviate his pain. Holy fuck.
It's just a clump of cells. That's an agenda. An agenda is it's just a clump of cells. It has no right to life. It's inside the woman's body, so it's her decision to murder it. It's her decision to get rid of it. I can't afford a baby right now. I can't afford a baby. Oh, if you guys want to stop abortion, then you have to fund my pregnancy and my child's life for the next 17 years.
This photo was passed on to me by a hospital worker who was called to look at him by others who were watching him as he sucked his thumb after his abortion. Already he's being censored online, and pro-abortion activists are seeking to identify the brave whistleblower who risked their career to give us this photo.
Life doesn't
my
begin.
God.
Life doesn't begin until like 20 weeks. It's just a clump of cells. That's an agenda.
Hey,
Another agenda is life might begin at conception, so we should protect human life at all costs.
how does someone not pick that up and run away with that and take that home?
We should protect human life.
How do you
at
not
all
how do you
costs.
not save that? No one saw that and saved the baby?
Because they've been told to believe that it's just a clump of cells, Savon.
Yeah, but if you have a fucking
No, pull that back up. Fuck that. Fuck
if
it.
you have
Pull it
any
up.
heart, if you have any heart or emotion or like how do you not be like, okay, I need to fucking do a plan right now. I need to take this baby home and save this.
That's what a baby looks like at 16 weeks old. It's about the size of an avocado. It's tiny. It's so tiny. It will fit in your fucking hand. But that is a human being, and life begins at conception, or at bare fucking minimum, it might begin at conception. So another agenda is we should protect human life at all costs if there's even the slightest chance that this life begins at conception. And so, of course, that's an agenda. And of course, it's just a clump of cells is an agenda. And the reality is one of them is far fucking superior to another in the protection of individual liberties and the protection of the human dignity of each fucking being on earth. Absolutely, I would consider this. I wouldn't consider, I would consider it child sacrifice, Storm, because it's sacrificing a human life for the advancement of your own personal agenda. Essentially, it's people believing that
it's sacrifice.
that
It's for sure child
their
sacrifice.
that their personal endeavors are far superior to the life of another person. No, that's not. Everything's an agenda because everything people preach is an opinion and perspective. I guess it's hard to make a factual argument that a such thing as fact exists and facts don't exist. There's going to be a philosophical argument about that. So why even fucking bother? Let's just accept a pretty general truth, and that is there are some perspectives on reality that are superior to others. Obviously, the protection of human life is superior to other agendas unless you believe that the earth is overpopulated with fucking retards like Pat Lange and that we should just fucking kill them. And not only kill them, we should put these centers in majority black communities because we don't want more of them reproducing. And that's the argument you are making when you are pro-abortion and when you're pro-choice. That's the agenda.
I think Kanye said it perfectly. The number one threat against all blacks in this country is abortion. Jorge, I can't find it. I searched for your.
You brought it up,
DM.
Pat. You are the fucking grilled cheese cooking, drooling retard that pulled it up. You fucking idiot. Take a second and stop drinking your fucking beer. Take your fucking Busch Light can off your big fat gut. for one fucking moment and turn your brain on. That is what we are dealing with in America. It's what we're dealing with all over the globe, is people who think that that is acceptable, to call that a clump of cells to justify the murder of fucking babies by the millions. I don't even want to read that. I'm done. I'm done fucking reading anything that idiot says. It's the justification of a genocide. It's fucking genocide of 40 million fucking babies, maybe 7. What's the number? What's the number since the 70s?
It's 70 million.
70 million babies. But we're fucking screaming free Palestine. And abortion is even an argument. 70 million fucking abortions. Are you? Oh my gosh. It is fucking
Think about that.
absolutely insane.
It is
70
insane.
million American babies.
Yep. It is.
And fucking Virginia. Virginia just passed a fucking law to allow full-term abortions. And that's what the progressive left, that's what progressivism is pushing. Under the guise of progress, they are pushing the murder of the fucking destruction of human life. I don't know what a fucking better word for it is. Destruction, the complete disregard and disdain for human life under the guise of progress. Women's reproductive health progress is murdering 70 million babies up to 9 months full term. Third trimester abortions.
Hey, and the irony is it's women's rights, but there's no they don't save female babies. They kill the female babies too.
Babies who could have cured cancer. The next fucking Heisman Trophy winner, the next president of the United States, someone to solve fucking time travel. Who knows?
Hey, look at this. This is way off subject, but I guess the genre of killing people. This is Iran. Look at this. The cop in Iran.
Yeah, I saw it. That's the same thing as abortion. It's the same disdain and disregard for human life as this. And you know what?
They're trying to hit people. They're trying to hit people.
We've completely disassociated from what it means to respect and value human life in America. And we've done that by people pushing the narrative that a fetus is just a clump of cells. You change the name of it, right? You change the name homeless to unhoused. You change the name of conservative to Nazi. You change the name baby and human to fetus and clump of cells. And you just completely disassociate from reality. And it's fucking sad, dude. It's sad that people believe that. It's so fucking sad.
Hey, and just so you know, when the censorship comes in, we won't be allowed to show that photo. We won't even be allowed to have this conversation. This will be considered offensive to some people.
It fucking ignites a wildly aggressive and violent streak in me against people who think that is okay. And will even hey, this is the argument this one influencer posted, that even a centrist stance on this issue, that even a centrist stance on this issue is okay. Absolutely not. It is. Are you kidding me? Being in the middle or being pro-choice is advocating for fucking murder. It's like, yeah, I don't care if those two people fucking murder themselves. I don't fucking care. Or how about, no, it's wrong. So no, it's not legal.
Show wouldn't be complete without talking about race. I've explained this on this show many, many times. It's been a few years since I've really dug into it. If you have not traveled out of this country and traveled extensively in India, China, and Africa, you have no fucking idea what's really going on. Your whole reality is so different than everyone else's reality. You live so far fucking trapped in your head because there's these ideas that you hold that just aren't true. These categorizations. Like, for example, black people. This notion that all black people are even remotely the same is like saying that all Asians are the same ones who live in Japan, Thailand, China. They're completely different. They look different. The Koreans look different. If you go to Africa and you travel around Africa, you'll know right away that these people look fucking nothing alike. Somalis look nothing like Kenyans, look nothing like South Africans. They all look completely fucking different. They're so different. And it's and if you don't travel, you can't even get your head wrapped around it. There's 1 billion black-skinned people living in Africa. They don't think that they're the same people. They don't call themselves black people. They're not united under some fucking arbitrary psyop by the color of their skin.
So you saying because the continent of Africa is not unified, then we can't.
And to put it in context, the most black people living outside of Africa is the United States, and it's like 45 million. They have 1 billion on the continent of Africa.
Have a global unification of the black diaspora.
But what are you unified around?
That's something we could build. What is the purpose of Pan-Africanism if you're saying that unity isn't possible?
But you said it as if I believe in Pan-Africanism. It's the most stupid, bogus thing anybody to even say.
But you spoke about worldview earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Saying all black people the same is the same as saying all Europeans are the same, or lumping them up together as Europe.
Our worldview was to uplift each other.
Whose worldview?
Black people.
Which black people?
All black people.
No, there is no such thing. You can't go to Asia and say all Asian people.
But why not?
I am telling you, this is the mistake.
Mm-hmm.
We are the only ones who walk the earth, and as soon as you see a black person at the airport, oh, brother. No, I'm not your brother.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Have you gone to Europe and you had an Italian man calling a German brother?
Fuck them. What's wrong with me seeing you at the airport?
This is the problem.
You might have to explain it to me then.
Okay.
I don't get it.
Let me ask you. Let me tell you something. The story of Chaka the Zulu.
Mm-hmm. Chaka Zulu.
What was he famous for before they killed him? Tormenting fellow black tribes in that region.
Okay.
So that's the man you're going to unite with?
No.
Okay. I'm just telling you. We think that skin color makes you and me the same. We're not. I am from a small tribe called the Ajak tribe in Benin. Benin is only 6.5 million people with over 40 tribes. When I say tribe, I mean the language is like French and Chinese. I don't have anything in common with the 49 other people in my country. Nothing in common. They speak a different language. They have a different God, a different religion, different food, different forms of wear and culture, traditions and customs. We were forced, carved and say, remain here. He's not my brother. Now you're asking for a global brotherhood of all black people. Why would the black people be different from any continent? Europe is a global community of white people, but they don't go around saying brother and sister. Asia is a community of all yellow Asians in Asia. They don't go around calling each other brother and sister. Same with the Middle East, same with everywhere. Where only when it comes to black people, you think we are all the same. We're not the same.
Because it's a giant fucking psyop in this fucking country. Because it's a giant fucking psyop. It's a giant psyop. Hey, and when black people come from other countries to this country, they don't feel like that they're part of that tribe, the African American tribe. And more Africans who are born, black people who are born in this country, I don't even know if I should call them Africans, they're not feeling part of the fucking African tribe either. African American tribe. They're waking up. There's 1 billion of them there. They don't view themselves as all the same. The second most blacks live in Brazil at 15 million, then Haiti, then Colombia, then France, then Venezuela, then Jamaica. But don't forget, 1 billion of them, completely different. As different as fucking Finnish guy is different from a Spaniard. That's the reality of the planet, not this fucking American reality you live in. Frank Zanu is fantastic. Should look up his video on how immigrants can sustain America. And if we keep destroying white civilization, America will be a shithole. Oh, it will for sure be a shithole. In sporting news, guess who's going fucking broke? The $1 billion man, Floyd Mayweather. $1 billion, and he's going broke. Mayweather boasts one of the most illustrious boxing careers in history. However, he maintains that he does not receive full benefits that he was entitled from Showtime. Mayweather's net worth is in the hundreds of millions thanks to his big fights, such as the $180 million bout against Manny Pacquiao. While the exact numbers may differ, he's always ranked among the world's highest paid athletes. Mayweather's career earnings have passed $1 billion. But his network, according to Sports Illustrated, is valued between 400 and 560 million. Is he going broke? Despite reports indicating substantial monetary pressures, he insists he's creating generational wealth. He has not paid his $3 million debt to a Nigerian media company. He's lost his Bugatti Veyron to settle debts. He's had to secure a $54 million loan at 9% interest. He recently sold 2 houses and his jet.
Wow.
Managing money's not easy. It's not just about spending money. Bro is gambling all his money away. Can you imagine blowing through a bill? He's losing his strip club, too. He got a strip club in Vegas. He's losing that also. That'd be hard to part with your strip club.
I wonder how much money it makes. I wonder if it's a money generating strip club for him, one that he like, owns because he enjoys the money that it generates, or the lifestyle that it allows him to live. Probably the latter.
Financial Mayweather could reportedly lose his Las Vegas strip club worth club over $52,000 in unpaid property taxes. I mean, that's crazy. Business Insider says his finances appear to be in dire straits. He's at risk of losing the building that houses his famous Las Vegas strip club with over $52,000 in unpaid property taxes. I mean, that should be nothing for him. His commercial properties have been foreclosed on, including a house in Miami. He's being sued for not paying for watches, high-end jewelry, and other things. One of his buildings was auctioned off in February of 2024 because he stopped making payments on it. This summer, 2 condos Mayweather owns at Trump Las Vegas residence were seized by Clark County for unpaid property taxes, then returned to him after he paid $21,000. And now he has a lien on his Vegas mansion because he has an unpaid trash collection bill of $568. Jeez Louise, this guy is fucked. In early 2024, Recknix introduced Mayweather to Don Hankey, a billionaire specialty lender based in Los Angeles. Hankey, who rose to prominence in the lending business by providing car loans to buyers with poor credit, is best known for posting a $175 million bond for President Donald Trump. Hankey is the guy that lent Mayweather $54 million at 9% interest. He used, for the collateral, he used 14 residential homes in Las Vegas. And his jet. Holy shit. It's being reported that Mayweather's currently negotiating a fight against Mike Tyson. Oh my goodness. The strip club is still operating. He just doesn't own it anymore.
Wow.
All right. Covered a lot of topics.
Financial illiteracy. That's crazy.
Overhead's a real thing, man. You got to watch your overhead. I knew someone who got $20 million and they ended up, one day I went to their house and they had 4 cars that were all worth over $100,000.
Oh, jeez.
And I knew they were broke. And I was telling my friends, hey, that person's going to go broke. They're broke. They're broke. And they're like, no, that's no big deal. It's only 4 cars. I'm like, dude.
The way it's the actions.
Dude. Well, also, let's say each of those cars cost you $3,000 a month with insurance and the payment on them, right? So $3,000 a month that's $12,000 a month. That's right there, $144,000 a year going out. You're done. I mean, because with 20 million in the bank, you're only making like $2 million a year. After taxes, that's
on interest.
Yeah, and after taxes, that's 1.5. And they had 2 houses. It's like,
and they're probably not making $2 million a year. You're probably making less because you probably are using a financial advisor that's raping the fuck out of you. Hey, you just put that in a Fidelity account and let it sit?
Yeah, they're all using financing. All rich people, you think they're financing those cars after winning millions? Yeah, all the richest people I know still use financing. Of course, they don't ever use their own money, dude. Rich people never use their own money. They don't even, I spoke to someone the other day and it made me realize how fucking stupid I am. This person who owns a $15 million home, okay? And they only pay the interest on the loan. They don't pay down the house. And so the interest on the home was like $4,200 a month or something, right? So eventually that home's going to be worth, in 10 years, that home's going to be worth $30 million. So they'll have made $15 million on it and they only paid $4,200 a month to live there. That's like cheap. You can't rent a home in fucking 3-bedroom home in Santa Cruz for that much. Like they got shit figured out in ways that like they got different ways of thinking. Yes. Joe Nells, no more money. The more money you have, the more money you're leveraging your lending power. Yeah. It's more than $4,200 a month if it's 15 million. Just the interest? I don't think so, but I'll take your word for it. Story in LA out this week about a former NFL player was murdered while homeless.
Nice.
Yeah, most of them lease cars and just give them back after they get tired of them. Yep. All that. I'm procrastinating, avoiding the Sentinel workout today. How about that open announcement?
Ooh, who's procrastinating? What's the workout? Which one? I don't even know if it's classic. Oh, it's Greg. Let's see.
You have a workout called Greg?
No, the commenter. Sorry, I doxed him. What's today's date?
Greg sent me a text yesterday asking for your phone number.
I'm gonna text him. Oh, the 10 round for time, Congleton? Of ski and bike? That's easy, dude. Just go slow.
Do you know what he wants to do with you?
What?
Did I tell you, or do you want to be surprised?
I feel like tell me, because if I'm surprised, I'll probably send him a text and fuck it up. Do you know what I mean?
He's been telling me forever, hey, the David Stove book. Mm-hmm. He wants me to read 1 page a day and then call him and talk to him about what I read. Oh. I'm like, he's been telling me that for like a year. So he's like, fuck it. He goes, hey, I want to talk to Taylor. I want to walk him through the David Stove book page by page. Have him read like 1 or 2 pages a day and walk him through it.
Damn, I'd love to do that.
I told him, I said, this is the most inquisitive human being I've ever met. Taylor would fucking eat that shit up.
Okay. I'll probably make it a week before he's like, yeah, he's too retarded for my time. I'll do my best. I'll text him. I'm signing up for the L4 today when it releases. I'm signing Bryson and I both up, so I'm going to be broke for a couple years.
Will you make a video of you guys signing up for it?
Oh, yeah, I'll make a video. I'll make a video of me signing up for it. I'll tell Bryson to record himself. We're also starting some coaching review stuff with Todd Acuto and Kristen Bowen. So that'll be really beneficial for us to make sure that we don't fuck the process up. I don't have to pay for a retest for myself or Bryson.
All right. Thank you. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow, CrossFit Games update show. I'm trying to get Emma Harvang on the show.
Oh, for the update show?
No, just in general. Should I get Colton on the update show?
Yeah, get him on. I mean,
talk about 26 point something.
Yeah, I say bring him on.
And then Saturday we have a show called Kill Taylor. $2,500. You want to win the $2,500? We put out a workout at 8:00 in the morning. You come online, you do it, you film it with your phone, and then next week, if Taylor can't beat you, you get the $2,500.
I'm gonna release and before we go, I'm gonna release 5 lifetime memberships to pay for Bryson and I's level 4. So if you're on Sentinel and you want one of those, the last time we did them was like 5 months ago, and they were $500, which at the current monthly rate is like 16 months of workouts. So basically, either you do Sentinel for 16 months or you pay once and you have it for life, and that's the same you would have paid for 16 months. And you not only get Sentinel, you get all of our ebooks, travel ebook, machine ebook, muscle up ebook, pull up ebook, cook ebook, and you get all of our previous programming. So there's like 9 Google Docs that are in the email as well. And it's going to be $550 because I said I would never do them at $500 again. But I'm going to release like 5 of them. So if you guys want,
what a deal! Are you sure that's a good idea?
Yeah,
I feel like I feel like you're enslaving yourself.
No, to what? To people for life?
Yeah.
If I fucking feel bad about it later on, I'll just send him a refund like I did Pat Lange. I sent him a friendship refund, you know? He thought he could buy my friendship for $500. I was like, change my mind. I think you're a pussy. Send him his money back. So it's all good.
Friendship refund. How come I can't call out on this phone?
It's only short-sighted business if you don't understand what the lifetime spend of an average monthly subscriber is, and you're retarded like Pat Lange.
Oh, you gotta know what he's doing. Oh, no, don't know what he's doing. What? Calling Susan is like calling a fucking foreign country. Why does this phone ring like that?
Yeah, Joe, if you're a lifetime member, which you are, yeah, just send me an email and I'll send you. You guys always get the ebooks.
Why does Susan's phone sound like? No, Souza. Sorry. I don't know if he has a show today. I tried to call him and ask him. I don't know if Matt Souza has a show today.
Pat's right. I need a loan. Pat, will you loan me $500? I'll be your friend. I'll be your friend and I'll read all of your Instagram DMs for at least a week. At least now I'll give you 2 weeks. I'll read every DM for $500. $550. We'll make it $550. And even $550, I'll read all your DMs. And I'll even pretend to like think about agreeing with you. I'll even pretend to be like, okay, I'll like, yeah, I get what you're saying. I'll give you some responses like that. You can send me whatever retarded shit you want to send, and I'll be like, wow, that's an interesting perspective. I never thought about it that way. And I'll do that game with you, but you got to pay me $550. If you do that, I'll take you out of my restricted. I basically have you in the folder on Instagram that all of like the porny bots get sent to. They're like, me so horny, me fuck you long time bots. Like they get just auto put in that folder. That's the folder you're in. I'll take you out of that folder. I'll put you in I'm not going to put you in my primary. I'll put you in my general folder. That's like, there's like general, then primary. I'll put you in general and I'll pretend to agree with you sometimes if you send me $550. That's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good deal, dude.
Very generous of you. All right. Love you, everyone.
I'll stop calling you fucking I won't.
No, you can't do that. Don't make promises you can't keep.
True.
Okay. We will see you guys later. Stay tuned. Susan might be coming live. We'll see you guys for sure tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening.